Hi Flosstube, it's Megan B. Stitchin, filming from my dining room with a view of the kitchen and the living room window there. It is May 15th, and it's not as late as it usually is. It's only 8:54. Yeah. Um, Eyes are tired. And it's been a good day of stitching. I was actually home today. The littles have had some coughs and mini fevers for probably about the past 2 days, and I decided it was easier to just stay home instead of trying to fight them into getting dressed. So, got some stitching done today. Just worked from home, which was nice. And enjoyed their little antics. Riker and Mara. Actually, Mara started it. She would put a blanket over her head, and I would pretend that she was a scary ghost. And then when I would ask where Mara was, she'd throw the blanket off and be like, oh, "It's me!" And anyway, we played that game for quite a while. We had a Barbie and Spider-Man tea party. That was fun. And yeah, it was a pretty chill day. It's kind of the last day before I think we get about a week of rain. So gotta love the rain. Anyway, I'll dive right in. I want to try to keep this a little bit on the shorter end just because I want to get back to stitching. I'm working on a new project and I'm like really enjoying it. So Maynia update. So we're on day 15 and I do have now a total of 15 starts. I got a little tiny behind on posting in Stitch Mania, but I have been starting one each day, and I had one that was a new start that on fabric I've never used before, and all this stuff, so it's been fun. So we'll just dive right into that. So so this would have been day 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so day 7 start was the Dimensions Christmas Jar Ornaments. This is on perforated paper. So, got a little bit on this. I think it's this one right here. With the snowman. Mr. Snowman. No, actually I think it's this one. It's one of these two. I think it's this one. Because these two are the first two. It's set up with all four, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think it's this one is the first one. That one's the next one. So, anyway, I got a good little chunk done on this. I got a little extra. I only got to probably about there for the start. I'll talk about this extra that I got on after we do the Maynia update. Day 8 was A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. So, I just realized I actually had 2 starts on counts. Different ways I'm stitching them. But I did this on a 40 count Newcastle linen. Never stitched on 40 count before. I love it. I did not want to put this down. I didn't. It's just stitched with 1 thread over 2, so it's a 1 over 2. And yeah, it is, I love it. So that's how far I got. Got the Faith, started the Joy, and this is all the same color here. So I'm just using up this color, and then I'll finish filling in the chicken or turkey or whatever it is that's there. So that's how far I got on that one. And I'm using all the called for anchor flosses and the Weeks Dye Works. And I know that Mona Pfeiffer is also stitching this one. So I'm excited to see her progress because she's starting, where was she starting? She was starting more in the, yeah, she was starting here. So I know she has birds done and trees done, or mostly done. Anyway, she started there. And I started up here. Decided to work on the corner. I'm going to try to do the border and then work in. So, love it. Cannot wait to keep working on it. Okay, day 9 was Myrtle and Rose by Tempting Tangle. Now, it's really, really hard to see this on this picture, as you can tell. So, yeah. But I think it's mostly crosses. I do know there's some specialty stitches in there. And having not done any specialty stitches before, that's kind of exciting. I'm just trying to make sure I understand where they go, because you can't really tell from that. Okay, so it uses Algerian eyelet, 4-sided stitch, and smeared across. So I'm working it as I go. It's barely started. The nice thing is I'm in Deborah's Facebook group, so if I get really lost, I'll just ask her. Like, what do I do? So I'm doing these in the Dinky Die conversion because it came as a kit, and that's what it came with. So I just got a little tiny bit done up here. So this color's, I mean, it doesn't stand out a little bit, but I know the other colors are going to pop off this green. So just barely started up here, just little crosses. This little motif will just be repeated. And I'm not finishing each stitch as I go down the line, but I'm doing it in little mini sections, so as though I'm going like this. So a line is not the whole thing, it's just a little mini section. So it's still getting that variegation, but I don't have to complete each stitch as I go, which is nice. And I think it's turning out well. So that was 9. Day 10, oh, this is another one I didn't want to put down, and I'll be working on this more. This one was White Christmas by Mirabilia. Pretty. And this one I'm doing on a Stitchery Express exclusive from Fabric Flair. And it is White Christmas. So I'm doing White Christmas on White Christmas. Yeah, it's epic. So what I decided to do is I took out this background and I just took her and I centered her on the White Christmas. So she'll be centered on that. And then what I'll do is in the background of the window, there's snow done with beads and such. And so what I will do is I'm going to stitch that snow as though it's falling around her, but not stitch the window. I think there's enough going on that fabric. Don't need to worry about that. So that was 10. Number 11, or day 11, was Prairie Schooler Autumn Samplers, and I'm doing this one over here. So it's autumn, wind is rising, and the air is wild with leaves. So that's the one I'm doing, is this third one. And this, I want to say I think it was, might have been Fiberlicious. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's kind of hard to see it, but there's a leaf. See, there it is. So it started there in the middle. So this one has a lighter green color that surrounds it, so you'll be able to see it. This green color is hard to see. It's easier to see in person, a little harder on the camera. But anyway, just got that middle leaf started. So that's a fun one. Make sure this floss makes it back in White Christmas. was 12. 13 was a Nashville release. And it was this bookmark kit from Rovarius, Once Upon a Time. So it came with the linen, and it came with all the finishing supplies. So you've got the little gem and the bookend and the ribbon and the lace. There's a little key charm in there. So I got 2 of these bookmarks, so I decided to start this one. And so it's got the little crow over there in the corner. So this one's gonna be a pretty quick stitch. I mean, it's small. I think it's gonna be really cute. It's small enough it fits in a sandwich bag. Gotta love little sandwich bags. Okay, it's day 14. Yeah, this one was pretty. So I actually started this one on the night of day 13 because yesterday I was up at Stitching Express helping Cindy out. She's getting a massive shipment coming in. It's going to be awesome. And I knew I would not have time to start this. So this was the first time using a like needlepoint frame. First time on 40 count silk gauze, and first time 1/1 on 40 count silk gauze. So this is the pattern I'm doing. It's Satsuma Street's 12th Day of Christmas, and I'm doing the one where they're all together. And I'm doing it on little teeny tiny, wrong needles in there, itty bitty, yeah, you see that? 40 count silk gauze, 1/1. So I find this kind of ironic. If you actually hold this up, the finished pattern, when it's all done, the finished product, is not going to be much bigger than that picture right there. So that gives you an idea of size. I don't know what I was thinking. But it's actually fun. It's kind of a fun little learning curve. So we'll see how it goes. I think over 10 stitches on there, so it's a start. Okay, now to put the right needle in there. And then the start for today, day 15, was another Rovarius Nashville release. And this one was the Spooky Tree. So I'm going to pick up the Week's Dye Works the next week when I go up to Cindy's, because I don't have that. So I started with the DMCs that they have. So there's all DMCs, and then the tree is all, and some of the other little accents are Week's Dye Works. I also have the charm pack that comes with all these little charms. So, and I'm doing this on 32 count Astraeus by Under the Sea, which I think is pretty awesome because it's purple. So I started on the Scorpion bottle. So it's this one right there. So I'll have to wait to fill it in. Still got to finish the top because the fill-in of the Scorpion is the same color as the tree, and that's the Week's Dye Works that I don't have yet. So that's that. So that's where I currently am with Maynia. And since I have not chosen yet, let's grab the phone and spin the wheel for tomorrow for start number 16. We're going to be officially past the halfway mark. Okay, so I'm going to pull up our little tiny decisions wheel. And let's spin away and see what we get. We might have to spin this a few times because it's starting to, even though I said it not to choose duplicates, it kind of is. Ooh, and the winner, that's me taking a screenshot, is Zelda. So another Mira. So I'll get that pulled out, and we'll start that tomorrow. Okay, what else have I worked on? Oh, so I was going to tell you these back. So I told you I got a little farther on. I'm at my kitchen table. It's a lot bigger. I got further along on the Christmas jars than I had started for its start. And the reason why is I was catching up with Coffee Stitcher and Garrett. And I mean, he's got like 4 years of video, 4 or 5 years of videos, tons. So I watched some of his early ones, and then I just skipped and watched like the last 2 months worth. I mean, his videos are nice and short, so you can do that. I'll probably go back and eventually watch them all. But I just wanted to catch up, so I was current. And he was talking a lot about magical stitches and the homework that he was doing for magical stitches. And of course, that got my curiosity going because then he had this whole spiel, and I realized it was all Harry Potter themed. And he had all these different whips that he had worked on, and there was a story behind where they went and what they did, and yada yada. And so I found the group on Facebook. It's Magical Stitches in Literature, and joined it. And oh my gosh, am I in love! So basically, it's a group that they are readers, stitchers, readers and stitchers, stitchers and not readers, readers and not stitchers. I mean, whatever you want to be. But it works with both reading and stitching. So they're reading through the Harry Potter series. They're focusing on one book every, it was every month, and now I think it's every 2 months for the bigger books. So, but they're on book 4 right now. And you get sorted into a house, and then they have other groups that are the house common rooms. I'm Slytherin. I've always been Slytherin. Every sorting I do, I get Slytherin, and that's not planned. I don't guess the ones that will give me Slytherin. That's just my normal guesses. Oh, and then I took the Ilvermorny test, and I'm the Horned Serpent. So technically that's the Ravenclaw equivalent, but it's still a snake. So I'm Slytherin with a side of Ravenclaw, which works for me. Green and blue, I like it. Anyway, so I started with that last week. And so that was, May was the start of year 4. So Goblet of Fire, year 4. And so they have stitchy homework. So there'll be a homework that you do during the week, basically from Monday to, I think it's Saturday. Then there's extra credit you can work on throughout the year. So the months that are the year, there's extra credit you can work on. Or there's, and then there's also reading challenges. So there's like an ultimate reading challenge where you spell out Hogwarts and then the names of all 4 houses, and you have to read books where a word associates with that letter. There's like an ultimate crazy one. There's so many different challenges. One is to read a book that's over 700 pages, or read 2 books that total over 700 pages. I've decided I'm going to reread The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. It's 1,001 pages. That's hardcover. Yeah, it's big. I've read it before, so it's not the first time reading it. But I haven't read the 3rd one of that series yet, so I want to reread books 1 and 2. Anyway, so you have reading and you have stitching, and it's fun because you post an album with whips, and you can have up to 20 whips. And I had somebody ask me how many whips that I have, and yeah, I have like close to 75. Yeah, I got them all organized, nice. And anyway, so I listed 20. So last week's homework, there was a lot of changes going on. I believe there was an admin that had to leave for personal reasons, just kind of couldn't keep up with the group with what was going on in her life, and been a lot of changing of houses and new rules. So it was pretty crazy last week. And so the homework was just to stitch 100 stitches on any piece you chose. So I chose the Christmas jars, so I added another 100 plus stitches right there. And then this week's homework was dependent on how many whips that you had. And if you had if you had 17 or more, then you had to stitch on your 17th whip, because you actually make a list of all your whips. So my 17th whip is, my mom was very happy about this, was my Haid, touching the hem of God. And so I have to put 700 stitches into this, which is not hard. Do you see all this purple? It's a lot of purple. So that's what I'm focusing on right now, is the purple. So it's not too hard to get 700 stitches. As you can see, I mean, from here to here is almost 200 stitches, I think. I didn't count it, but it's a lot. So that shouldn't take me too long, but I'm going to work on that. So I'll have that done by Saturday. And then I actually went through, where's my little list? Ah, here it is. So I went through and printed off the extra credit that could be completed during the months of May and June. So I printed it off, and then I went through and I actually wrote down the projects that I'm going to do for each of those extra credits. Let's see, here's the weekly ones down here. So, anyway, so I'm starting to work on that, and I actually started one of those, and it was number 5, and it's Stitch the Imperious Curse. Stitch on something you saw that made you lose control and had to stitch. And if you put 500 stitches in, you get 5 points for your house. So this goes for any house. So because I've been obsessing with this, decided to start Marie Antoinette by Lana Lawson. And I'm doing this one on a fabric flare. And I don't know if it's called Blue Mist. It might be called Blue Mist. Anyway, it's this really pretty purple to blue, but I actually flipped it like this, so the pink part of her dress is going to be in the purple. But I'm just working a lot on her skin right now, kind of working toward her hair, so kind of getting her face. Anyway, I'm not going to have any trouble putting 500 stitches in this one. I love it. So really, that's what I've been working on. I do have one other that I'm going to start, and that's the Rapunzel by Victoria Vichenko. Love this one, and I'm going to be doing this on another fabric flare. This was the seasonal party fabric. So this is exclusive to Fabric Party Fabric of the Month members for 6 months, and then they'll release it to everyone. So join if you haven't joined yet. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm debating doing it this direction or doing it this direction. Because it does have all the stars up here, and with the lanterns, I think it might be cool to have the stars up here. The only thing I'm worried about, well, her dress should be okay on that purple. I'm not too worried. But anyway, actually that would work. That would work pretty well this way. Honestly, either way would work. Yeah, I think if I do it this way, there's this gold swirl that you see right here, and it would go along with her hair. So with the angle that her hair is. So that would be pretty cool. Anyway, I plan to start that one. I'm in the mood for sharps. What can I say? Has nothing to do with Maynia. I'm starting outside of Maynia. So I've actually started more starts than planned. So I actually have 16 starts in 15 days. But it's all good. Okay, so that's Maynia update, whip update, and plan update. So I'll do haul really quick, and then get back to stitching. All that fun stuff. So I got in when I went to Stitcher's Paradise and picked up some stuff. I was missing one thing from a set I had gotten from someone on one of the Stash Unload groups, and it was the Country Cottage Needleworks Main Street set, and I had every single one except for the bakery. So that one came in. So the pretty bakery. Gotta love it. And then also when I went down there, I also picked up the Glitter House series. And they had all of them but 4, number 4. So Glitter House number 4. So that came in. So I'm going to find a nice opalescent to do this on, because they had their model that they were stitching on an opalescent, and it was awesome. Glitter on glitter. So those came in, and I love that. And then I went up to Cindy's yesterday, and I get paid in stuff. I love it. So when I see stuff, I just kind of grab it, set it aside, and I just keep track. And so that's what I get, which works for me. It's called stash enabling. So I was looking through and finding stuff to do for their Sunday show, and one of the designers that I was going through was Raise the Roof, and the one that I found for the show was pretty fun. I was excited. But anyway, for me, I grabbed the This Is Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween, 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 Halloween. Yeah, I love Nightmare Before Christmas. My kids actually call it Halloween. That's when they're like, we want to watch Halloween. That's what they mean, is Nightmare Before Christmas. They love it. They know Jack on site, so I did a good, that's a proud parent moment. So anyway, got that one. And then I'm loving all the clothesline, the Raise the Roof clotheslines that they did. So picked up Warm Water Wash. I think I know what I'd like to stitch this on. I think I'm going to do this on a fabric flare that's it's sun, sea, and sand. And so it's split. There's the sky, there's the sea, and there's the sand. I think it'd be fun to put this looking like it's on the sand with the sky and that behind it and the sea behind it. So I think that's going to be pretty fun. So that's my plan for that. I just have to pick up the fabric. The other designer that I went through and pulled a bunch of stuff out for the show, because it's a designer that hasn't been featured much in their shows. So I decided to pull it out, was Rosewood Manor. And there's one chart that she has that I really like, but I don't know if I'd ever stitch it. And it's the 100 alphabets or 101 alphabets, something like that. Anyway, it's that many alphabets. It's just alphabets, 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 alphabets. I just don't know if I'd ever stitch it, but it's pretty cool looking. So maybe one of these weeks I'll grab that one. But what I did grab was A Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. Weep. There we go. And says, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then it has, in this little tiny tree down here, right here, it says, he that plants trees loves others besides himself. So there's a lot of fun motifs that are kind of hidden in it. There's a little snake here. Looks like there's a little owl up in this tree. Got a lot of deer and birds over here. Got some rabbits in the roots. So I think this is going to be a pretty fun one to stitch. I'm excited. So got that one. And then my mom loves sunflowers. Loves them. So I picked up Dreaming of Sunflowers. Yeah. Lots and lots of sunflowers. And it just says sunflowers everywhere. So, yeah. Really pretty, really bright. Floss is it. Oh, so it's just DMC floss. Perfect. I love it. So, gotta find good fabric for that. I think a light blue is going to be a pretty one for this one. I might have to get Cindy's Sweet Baby James. That is the name of one of her fabrics. It's also the name of her grandson, James. So I think a blue would look nice on that one. And then last I grabbed Keys to the Kingdom. So it's kind of fun. So they did it in, so black is on the front. So that was done by one stitcher. And then on the back, they have another version. It's all metallic. It's pretty cool. So you can kind of do it however you want. If you want to do it metallics, do it metallics. If you want to do it black, do it black. So, oh, and the nice thing is, they even have the metallic and black if you want to do the colorways. So it looks like this one used DMC Light Effects, DMC, Krynic, and Mill Hill. And then the black one just used 310, DMC 310, and then Mill Hill. Just one type of Mill Hill. So it kind of all depends on what you're feeling like. But they got the breakdown, which is nice. And then I grabbed some fabrics. When I was up there, this time around, because we were organizing, getting ready for this massive shipment that she flew down to go and pick up. And so I organized all of the 28 count even weave and linen fabrics. And Garth was like, please take some 28. They don't move very quickly. I don't know why. I like 28. I don't mind stitching mirrors on 28 because the original beads called for in mirrors will fit. Because pretty much all mirrors are stitched on 32. Mirrors and Noras are stitched on 32 count, which is 16 count. So 28 count / 14 count is bigger. So you don't have to worry about crowding. I have stitched one of the kind of the witchy pixies on an 18 count, and that was a bit of a pain with the beads because I had to play around with that. So I'm cool with this. So I've got plans. So I just grabbed a couple, and I do have plans for most of them. These I don't yet. Probably a Mira or something like that. But you can get all of these with Cindy. I'll make sure to link everything. So this is White Stage. Isn't that pretty? You can put a ballerina or a character or something. So I've got that one. Fuzzy on there. And then I got the Red Stage. Gotta find something that's maybe black or a blue that'll really pop off of that one. Considering I have like 60 or 70 Mira and Nora Corbetts. Yep. I'm excited for that. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on this one, but I really liked it. I gotta find something fun. This is called Shelley's Aura. Isn't that pretty? And the Aurora Borealis in the background with the trees. So stitch something fun there. I'll find something cool for that. Goodness knows. There's a lot. I think I had something in mind, but I can't remember what I had in mind. I'll remember it. I will remember it. Okay, this one has a specific one in mind. I saw this and I knew immediately what I was going to stitch on it. So this is looking at the stars. So if you think Mira Nora Corbett, what goes with looking at the stars? Guess it? Stargazer. How perfect. So I will be stitching Stargazer on looking at the stars in opal. She's going to be gorgeous on that. Nice trees looking up at the beautiful stars. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think it's going to be way, way, way pretty. And then the last one I grabbed... Oh, wait, no, there's actually two more. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I added one of these. So this one's called Witch's Garden. I also grabbed this one in opal. Nice pretty flowers. I'm actually going to stitch Miss Ladybug on this. Right there in the middle. How cute is that going to be? It's there in her little garden. Though I had to ask Cindy why in the world this is called Witch's Garden when it looks so pretty. I guess it's a good witch's garden. There we go. We'll call it a good witch garden. And the last thing I got, also for Amira, was this one called Misty Forest. Fuzzy. Actually, it's just a string. These things like to shed. So this kind of creepy, misty forest. I'm going to stitch red on there. Yep. I mean, because doesn't that just feel like she's going through to Grandma's house and the wolf is just hiding in those trees? So, anyway, yeah, more stuff to start, but they have specific projects in mind. So, I'm working through stash, adding to stash and working through stash. It's all good. Okay, well, I think that's it for tonight. Hopefully the kids will stay down and they will all go to their respective places tomorrow, aka school and daycare, so I can get some work done, actually at work. And going to keep working on the homework for Magical Stitches, both the reading and the stitching homework, and yeah, just keep putzing away at what I've been doing. I'm quite enjoying it. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good stitch week, good Stitch Mania if you're doing it, whatever way you're doing it. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.